Hello there, and welcome to another DemonStarCraft commentary. Today's game will be between Huck, the red Protoss in the 6 o'clock position, and Morrow, the Terran in the north position. Kind of teal. Not really green, not really blue. I guess he could be kind of green, but more teal. Anyway, this is a game that's in a series of show matches, and I have the first game at the moment, so I will try to find the rest of them and go ahead and cast them for you. I would like to apologize for the small break that I had taken. I had just a lot going on. We, family, house, crap like that. Sometimes you can't help it. And also, it's the end of summer, and so we've been taking the kids out to the park a lot and spending a little too much time out at the park for commentating purposes. There's never too much time at the park where it comes to children. So I would like to get back into commentating, and it's a nice Saturday night, nothing to do, and it's about 9:30, so I hope to get in quite a few commentaries. We do have a probe scout going out for Huck, and he's going to do a little dance around this Xel'Naga watchtower, and as you can see, he's doing a lovely dance. Too bad that doesn't actually do damage. That'd be pretty neat if you could, make the momentum do damage or something. Get a Thor to start spinning around and, killing all the Zerglings around it. That'd be pretty funny. Anyway, we have a gateway going down for Huck. He's got his first pylon, and he's also getting his assimilator. Morrow has got his first barracks going down. He's got his first supply depot already down and put underground. But he's not walling in, so it seems a higher level tactic is not to wall in so much unless you're going against Zerg, and then sometimes it's still not as important. Because it seems like 6 pool is just generally seen as cheesy, which is why they call it cheese. You have the SCV scout going out in the wrong direction, but the probe scout is going in the right direction because he was waiting to see where Morrow came from. Because if suddenly that is a good tactic. If you leave your probe scout, if you're down in this position and you leave your probe scout up here, you'll see him coming out of either the west, the west position, or the north position. But if he comes out from over here, you'll see a scout in your base, but you won't have seen any movement from up here, so then you can assume he will be in that base. So it's a good scouting tactic instead of randomly walking all around. So kind of up to you. You get to see what's going on. Make sure you don't get a fast attack. We have a cybernetics core has gone down for Huck. SCV scout has come in, seen, and is leaving. Possibly just trying to check out to see if anything's going on and make it out alive, whereas that probe did not. Excuse me. We also have a factory going down for Morrow. Did Huck see that? Yes, he did. He saw it building. He also saw the second geyser building. So we will see. What does Morrow know? Morrow sees everything except for the latest building, which is a robotics facility. And he didn't see this pylon here, which is good because you can take this pylon and warp in here, here, or here, and so if you're wanting to warp in reinforcements, you can move them up pretty quickly from that position instead of having to walk down your ramp and all around, etc. So we got a bunker here for Morrow, which will help stave off any early pressure from Huck. Huck continuing to keep a stalker now at the north Xel'Naga watchtower. Huck also warping in another gateway. Huck is a big fan of spreading out his technology, which a good reason for it is that you can't really, as a Terran, you can't just use one comsat and find out all of his technology. So, it's a pretty good idea when you can do it. Not so useful for Zerg, since they still kind of have to be on the creep, so unless you are creep tumoring like crazy, then you'll be pretty close. The other trick is to use a Overlord, but that also requires a lair. We do have a barracks going down here and dropping off a Terran, which I guess he is going to maybe sit over here, because one Terran is not really going to do too much from that position, any more different than it would be in his main base. So we'll keep an eye on that and see what goes on. First tank is out for Morrow, as he is also researching siege tank technology. 4 Marines in that bunker that is guarding his ramp, and a command center going down, so we are going to see Morrow go for a little faster expansion than Huck will. Huck now has a stalker at both watchtowers, and an observer working its way up towards Morrow's base. He's going to check to see if there's an expansion out yet, and then work his way over to the ramp. But he's going to take a slightly different path, as you can see there. And he will see that command center being built, and soon going to lift off. And it lifts off right away, so we're going to see it land over there. His expansion's going to go down. What he's going to do, he salvages that bunker, guarding his ramp, and sending an SCV down to replace the bunker in another spot, in a more forward position at the bottom of his ramp. Huck now starting to consolidate his forces a little bit, now that he's got more scouting info and sees that they are going for an expansion. So he also feels safe in the knowledge that he can go ahead and break down the rocks at his high mineral expansion. Huck getting his natural expansion at the moment. Can I say expansion any more times today? I'm sure I could. But expansion, expansion, expansion. Expanding is the best thing you can do when you're not getting attacked. We do have a observer chilling out over here over the expansion. Siege tanks positioned far enough away that they will not be shot by your typical stalker or sentry, but close enough that they will not hit the barracks itself. This one also covering the, as you can see, it covers this little area where the stalkers or zealots, and maybe right here they could fit, but it'd be pretty tough to judge that when you're the opponent being shot at. So we got one tank here that probably would be a good idea to move him up a little farther to cover the area. But generally speaking, doing a good job. Let's check out our APM here. 182 to 174, so not too bad. I mean, obviously they're very high level players, so they're going to have extremely high APMs, but, you know, I'm saying not too bad is in a high level playing. Anyway, we have Morrow here is well ahead of Huck, and almost 200 to 500 minerals varying. It's probably mostly varying depending on his mules, how many mules he has at the time. So they do have pretty equal on gas. Huck is actually pulling away in the gas since he now has his 2 expansion gases up and running. Let's check out our technologies here. Huck has warp gate technology, robotics facility, and a Templar, or Twilight Council, excuse me. He is also researching Blink, so we might see some interesting play from these stalkers here in a little bit. Supply depots going down in a walled off fashion for Morrow at his natural expansion. With the comm setup, let's move this, look at the units tab. 20 Marines for Morrow, so, and 5 tanks, so that could put up quite a fight against Huck's army there, which is consists of 1 Immortal. Oh, we got some stalkers blinking up onto the cliff here outside of Morrow's expansion, and is shelling away at the refinery, and they are going to take it down. What can Morrow do about this? Let's move this out of the way. He is going to lift up this barracks and run it towards here to the side of the high ground as these stalkers take out 2, 3. Let's see, we got 3 kills. 3, 2, 0, and 3. So I can do math quickly, honestly. 8 kills between those 4 stalkers. They did a pretty good job. This barracks here going to come and spot the high ground for Morrow. He is going to try and shell away with these tanks. Going to realize he can't quite reach them. Move a little closer. And Huck's going to take that moment to run and blink. One waiting for this blink to recharge before he gets killed. Will he make it? Ooh, yes! Makes it up with 12 health. Morrow dropping off a couple Marines at the top here just to spot the high ground so that does not happen again. These Marines going to try and take out those 4 stalkers, but they blink across onto the high ground again, and Huck just has an amazing map sense here as to where to go to get out of trouble. Always have an escape plan is the best way to look at it. If you don't have to sacrifice them, don't. So the observer will come over here and see that, and he will come over here and pick off the SCV at the watchtower to take away Morrow's vision and then scamper off. What has Huck built up here? He is getting lots of zealots coming in, immortals and sentries with high Templars. Do they have? Yes, they do have Psionic Storm. Did they research the Kydarian Amulet? Yes, they did. So they are going to start. Huck probably will start pushing forward as to he seems to have